Wesley with my one and only Miss Whitey, the producer of this show, and she brought some friends with her today to church. They're around me here. You'll probably see them in just a second. So this is Bring a Friend to Church Day. So it's good having you. Stop, Whitey. What I want to talk to you about today is the open door, the door that no man or woman can shut. God sometimes opens a door for us. And when he does, it doesn't matter what happens. No man can shut it. No woman can shut it. Nothing can shut this door. So how do you find the open door? I want to talk to you about that today. Let us know where you're watching us from. It always warms our heart to know that you're watching in different states and the country. So let us know in the comments down below. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget, you can pick up a copy of the Gospel According to Cows, all about cows and the gospel. And it's a 60-day devotional, so pick you one up today. Enjoy that. Give it away as a gift. I want to just thank Eric Rains again for giving Whitey some treats, and she's been enjoying those, Eric, so thank you. If you'd like to give to Whitey's tip jar, you can go to robertstoffel.com, and you can give Whitey some treats. I'll be happy to give those to her. And this is her sister Blondie here with us today as well, and I got some in front of me. So it's a good day. It's a beautiful day here on the farm in Nashville, Tennessee. So let's get started. John Wesley's father, Samuel, was a dedicated pastor, but there were those in his parish who did not like him. And on February the 9th, 1709, a fire broke out in the rectory at Epworth, possibly set by one of the rector's enemies. Nobody really knows, but young John Wesley, who wasn't even 6 years old at the time, was stranded on an upper floor of the building. And two neighbors rescued him from just seconds before the roof crashed in. One neighbor actually stood on the other's shoulders, and he pulled John through the window, and he saved his life. And his dad said later, "Come, neighbors, let us kneel down. Let us give thanks to God. He's given me all my 8 children. Let the house go. I'm rich enough." John Wesley often referred to himself as the brand plucked out of the fire, which is a reference to Amos 4:11. And in later years, he often noted February 9th in his journal, and he gave thanks to God for his mercy, because we would not have the Methodist Church, we wouldn't have a lot of the blessings that John Wesley brought into the world if it hadn't been for that moment when he was plucked from the fire by some neighbors. And Samuel Wesley, his father, labored for 40 years at Epworth, and he saw very little fruit. But consider what his family accomplished. Consider what John Wesley accomplished, but his father accomplished hardly anything. It was a church of small fruit. And today I want to talk about a church that labored and fought spiritual battle after spiritual battle until they were worn down and exhausted. And besides the constant fight, they never saw much fruit from their labors. And maybe you feel that way today. Maybe you feel like you just work paycheck to paycheck and you just hardly make it. And there's really no fruit in your life. And what fruit you have had is out on the vine, and things just seem to be shriveling, and nothing seems to be happening that's going to sustain you in the long haul. And here's the title of my sermon for today: An Open Door for Little Strength. If you have little strength, I want to show you an open door. And here's my text. "I know your deeds. See, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. I know that you have little strength, yet you have kept my word and have not denied my name." Thou hast little strength. And maybe you're there today. You just feel like you just have little strength. These words were addressed to the angel of the church of Philadelphia by the Lord. You know, they say that everybody has a guardian angel. And what if that angel received a message from God to say today and said, "I know you have a little strength, but I want to show you an open door. And because of your faithfulness, I'm going to show you a door that's going to open that no man can shut, no woman can shut." And I think that's when we realize that even though we have little strength, God still has something there for us. And there's an open door that we have to go through sometimes. And sometimes it just doesn't shut. We try every other door, and every other door seems to slam shut, but we fail to see the open door that can't be shut. So today, start thinking about where to find that open door in your life that you can go through that no man can shut, no woman can shut. And it says, even though you have little strength, know that I'm going to bring you through into a new door, into a new transition in life. And the Lord set before them an open door. Now, this is my first point, I guess. Having little strength is not something we should feel ashamed of. Maybe you've lost a job, experienced a vocational failure, and you feel this deep sense of sadness. But not only that, but a kind of shame, because without your job you identified with so strongly, you're not sure of who you are any longer. Now you have a little strength. Or this happens every day. A word comes back from the doctor's lab that the test was positive and all the dreams you had for your children and your spouse will no longer be realized. Now you have little strength. And maybe you feel like you've failed as a parent. Things are not right with your child. Things are not right between you and your child. And you wonder where you went wrong, or if you can put things together. Or maybe somebody you loved with your whole heart has died. And you prayed so hard. You hope so much, and you don't understand. You have so many questions about how life has led you to this point where it seems to have had no fruit whatsoever, as if everything has died on the vine. You just know your life will never be the same, and you have little strength. Or you become aware of a deep brokenness inside you. Maybe it came out in a real dramatic act, adultery, betrayal, deceit, and your whole world caved in, and now you have little strength. It's easy just to give up when you have a little strength. And I think this is what's so beautiful about our text today. Let me read it again. See, that's the first thing. We got to really see, don't we? See, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. I know that you have little strength, yet you have kept my word and have not denied my name. To move forward, you must be willing to see again. See what? An open door. We spend so much time looking at the closed door sometimes and asking questions about the closed door. Why did this happen? How did this happen? And we never get our eyes up and start looking for what open door God might be putting in front of us. And sometimes we look too long at the past. Think of Jesus' parables of the talents. You know how it goes. A man gives his workers talents. To one he gives 5 talents, to another he gives 2 talents, and to another he gives 1 talent. And well, as you know, the ones with the multiple talents turned them into even more, but the one with 1 talent buried his, because this is what he said about his master, Matthew 25:23. Master, I knew that you are a hard man, reaping where you have not sown and gathering where you have not scattered seed. When the man was given an open door, he interpreted the future by looking at the past. We do that, don't we? We interpret the future by looking at the past. We say, well, God let this happen and I don't trust him. He didn't answer my prayers. And isn't this what Gideon said we talked about a couple weeks ago? Remember, he said, if the Lord is with me, then why have all of these bad things happened to me? Oh, y'all calm down, calm down. I got a bunch of little calves riding each other's backs around here. God was looking for a response, and Gideon wanted answer, but he kept looking at the past. He kept saying, well, if you're with us, why have all these bad things happen to us? Why did you allow us to be ransacked? Why did we have to live in caves and not find... Okay, y'all calm down. Y'all getting a little bit too wild around here. Sorry. But God was looking for a response from Gideon. And what he's looking from you right now might be a response. Hey, buckwheat. So don't think about the little strength you have. Don't knock my stuff over, y'all. And here's my second point. How do we know when God opens a door? That's really a difficult one, isn't it? Because we never can really seem to be confident about that. We don't really know. But think of a cow. Did you know that if you raise the tail of a cow, it cannot kick you? Just raise its tail and the back legs shut down. It's unable to kick. And God raised the tail of your problem, and no matter what you do, you will not be harmed. It happened for the children of Israel at the Red Sea. God said, watch, be still. Look, see, today I will open the door that Pharaoh can't shut. And that's what happened. Hey, buckwheat. Didn't God opened the sea, and Pharaoh couldn't shut it. And first, God had changed what faced them, not what chased them. And you see, we look so much at what chases us instead of what faces us. And what's facing you today is an open door. For some of you, God has changed what faces you. Stop worrying about what might be chasing you. Yes, the past has been bad, but it's no longer chasing you. It's over. It's gone. It's done. And now the only thing we can do is look to the possibilities and not the impossibilities. Why? Why do we always look at the impossibilities? Well, we feel like if we walk through an open door, we would offend or let someone down a lot of the times. And we don't want to look bad in their eyes. So we feel like if we walk through the open door, we would offend or let someone down. And we don't want to look bad in their eyes, so we just stay stuck in the moment, stay stuck in our paralysis. Well, they say in your analysis, you'll be stuck in your paralysis. Don't worry about what people are going to say. Maybe some loved ones are not going to like it. You know, the open door was given to you by God. It's there because He gave it to you. Don't worry about what people think. There was an old man once who walked beside his grandson who rode a donkey, and as they traveled from city to city, the old man heard some people say, "Would you look at that old man suffering on his feet while that strong boy is totally capable of walking?" In the next town, the old man rode the donkey to keep people from criticizing his grandson, but people said, "Would you look at that a healthy man riding a donkey while he makes the poor boy walk?" So he was baffled by this criticism. Everything he did just didn't seem to work out. So the old man jumped on the donkey behind his grandson. So they both rode the donkey. But people said, "Would you look at those heavy brutes making that poor donkey suffer?" So they both got off and they walked the donkey. But they heard some people say, "Would you look at that waste, a perfectly good donkey not being used?" So the boy and the old man just ended up carrying the donkey. Criticism can get inside your head. It can control you and keep you out of God's open door. If God opens the door, it doesn't matter what people think. It only matters about your response to that door. So number two, what's the second thing that keeps us from walking through an open door? We fear what might be waiting for us on the other side. Oh, wow. We fear what might be waiting for us on the other side. We say, well, we know what we got now. So let's just keep what we have now. And it's kind of like fear, you know. We're not willing to get out of the boat sometimes. Think of Peter walking on the water. Jesus gave him an open door to join him on the water. And Peter stepped through the door, but soon he got his eyes on the wind and the waves. And what this tells us is that we can produce our own doubts. We can get our eyes on the winds and the waves of an open door and say, you know, I don't know, God. I see the open door. I appreciate the open door, but I know what I have now. And for me to make a big move like that it'd be so risky. And I just don't feel like I can risk anything right now. If you feel like you can't risk, then you won't ever walk through an open door. You'll stay stuck. You'll stay looking at that open door for most of your life. So, don't allow your little strength to dictate your future. That is my main idea today. Don't allow your little strength to dictate your future. We say things like, I can't do this. This problem is bigger than I am. But you're looking at the problem and not the open door. Stop comparing the open door to old problems in your past. What do you mean? I mean, don't predict what's through the open door by imagining. I mean, don't predict what's through the open door without walking through the open door. Sometimes we can build up in our mind all these imaginations about why this open door would not be what we want, and it's something that God gives us. And let me say this. If God wants you to go through an open door, it will be open no matter what. If God doesn't want you to go through some door, He'll shut it. He'll shut a door. And He'll say, stop chewing on my desk. He'll say, don't walk that direction. There's not an open door there. Think about when Paul wanted to go somewhere and the Spirit of Jesus stopped him, it says. Don't look at an open door and start imagining what's on the other side. You have to be faithful to take the step and respond to the open door. Brene Brown writes this: when we have the courage to walk into our story and own it, we get to write the ending. And when we don't own our stories of failure, setbacks, and hurt, they own us. Oh, wow. Isn't that good? Don't you want to walk into the ending of your story today? Don't you want to write the ending? Or do you want all of your pain and your setbacks and your failure and your hurt, all of those things to dictate to you what your future is going to be? That open door is your possibility to changing everything that's going on in your life right now. But you are the only one that can make that decision to walk through that open door. Don't fear it. Don't doubt it. Don't come up with all these imaginations about what it could be. To yourself. Read it every day to yourself this week. See. First thing we got to do is see. We've got to see. I have what? Placed where? Before you what? An open door which no one can shut. I know you, it says. I know that you have little strength. Yet you have kept my word and have not denied my name. And sometimes we can feel like Gideon, who said, if God was really for us, why how all these things happen to us? And that's the wrong thing to do, isn't it? It just leads us to the past. It just leads us to those closed doors back there. Fretting over our circumstances and our little strength will not produce a new future. This is something Charles Haddon Spurgeon says, a troubled heart has never made things better. Don't you like that? A troubled heart has never made things better. So God has a remedy for you. And that remedy is an open door. Accept your future and stop looking back. Well, what do you think? I got all kinds of people around me today. Y'all have gotten an open door to green grass around here, and things are good for them. It's been a rough spring with all these changes in the weather and the wind blowing at 30 gusting miles an hour. So it's good to be back on the hill with a little bit of sanity. So God bless you this week. Think about the open door. Think about that scripture and read it to yourself every day. And start looking for the way out. Start looking for a way to step into your new future instead of just standing there saying, I can't. You can. God bless you. Have a good week.